Hello everyone, I'm Renowned Zero, and we're back again talking about the former Netflix's The Witcher director praising Henry Cavill's dedication to his role as Geralt of Rivia. This comes to us from Bounding into Comics. In breaking from the narrative professed by an anonymous group of the series production team, former Netflix's The Witcher director Mark Jobst has offered public praise for the sheer level of dedication former Geralt actor Henry Cavill gave to the role. Because he is a guy who is passionate about The Witcher. He's read all the books, he's played all the games, so he knows the character better than most people who haven't read the book, which is what these people on this production haven't done. They haven't read the books, they haven't played the games, they just want to take the name and they want to take an installed fan base of this popular IP and they want to bastardize what is already established in the books and the games rather than just taking that material and putting it on screen. They want to make their lives harder by trying to make up stuff as you go. Meanwhile, everything is plain in sight, written out for you, that you could just take and make it into a series. And there's plenty of material. Jobs, who directed the season 1 episodes Before a Fall and much more, spoke to his admiration for Cavill's love of The Witcher and desire for its success to be centered on his latest project, Netflix's live-action adaptation of One Piece, which I don't feel is going to do well. I believe it's going to flop, just like Cowboy Bebop did. I'm so glad that that show got canceled midway being put out there, and I don't believe any anime should ever be made into live-action. There really haven't been many, if at all, any anime that has been adapted into live-action that have done well. Honestly, if you want to watch Cowboy Bebop, just go back and watch the anime. It's an absolute masterpiece. I highly recommend it. It's my favorite anime of all time, and I believe you'll get so much joy out of watching that original anime rather than watching the fake version of Cowboy Bebop, which is their Netflix's terrible live adaptation. At one point, taking a slight detour from the main topic of the Straw Hat Pirates' upcoming adventure, especially One Piece, which has over 1,000 episodes, you're really trying to get all that emotion, get all those facial expressions to work well in a live adaptation. It just doesn't work as well as if it's animated. It just doesn't work as well. Screen Rant's Grant Herman asked the director if he had any thoughts on Cavill's sudden but understandable departure from The Witcher. Now, his understandable departure is because they failed to put The Witcher in a lot of the screen time. He barely has any screen time in a show that's called The Witcher. And the story is not mainly focused on The Witcher. It's mainly seemed to be focused on Yennefer and Ciri. Quote, well, look, Henry has done 3 series. These are demanding shows to make, they are huge, Jobs replied. Henry does every single beat of his stunts. He won't even allow a hand if you're doing a close-up of a hand grabbing a sword. It has to be his hand. So normally what you do is you bring in a double, Henry will go off and shoot some other scene in which he's in somewhere else, and you get somebody else into the hand so that you don't have to bother with your number 1. So showing you the level of dedication where he's doing all of his own stunts too. And he even went out and learned the artistry of swordplay. That's what I was looking for. He learned how to hold swords, he learned how to swing swords, he learned how swords clashing together work, etc., etc. He practiced these things day in and day out just to be that prepared and that, showing his expertise on the things that he's learned. Henry won't do that, and as a result, the results are extraordinary. He then declared, you're working with an incredible athlete, first and foremost, who works out hours before and hours after. You've been shooting for 12 hours, and who cares deeply about the work that he does. Yes, he's very passionate, just like every other fan of The Witcher. He's one of those passionate fans that's going, hey, here's the source material, use the source material, I want to do this role. It was a role that I felt that I was born to play. He felt that he was born to play this role. Turning to provide insight into the heavy workload Cavill undertook during his time on the series, the former Marvel's Daredevil, Luke Cage, Runaways, and The Punisher director detailed, quote, during 3 seasons, I came in on the first season we were shooting in, 4 different countries. That's taking the whole entourage into different places, learning the stunts, rehearsing the stunts. While we were shooting the sword fight, for example, in the pilot, That's a big one-shot sequence, and they're heavy swords. They're not sharp, but they're heavy. So if you get them wrong, you can seriously damage somebody. We had a camera operator come into the show, and I think he was rehearsing that fight sequence for 4 weeks at a jobs. Just a camera operator working, learning the dance of the fight so that he can make sure the camera's in the right place in order to land the hit without having to make a cut. So essentially, Henry Cavill practicing his sword fight in the show, wanting to get the sequences correct because he's that dedicated to his craft. He's that dedicated to the show. He's that dedicated to this character of Geralt. And then, of course, moving into the second part of that sword fight, which is rent-free, where we stop the fight from time to time to get the eye contact between the two of them, to get the sense of whether they're going to kiss or they're going to harm. He further recalled, that's draining on your number one, so after 3 series, I feel, okay, he's brought the show into being, and if he feels like he's done what he can, I trust him. And being able to put faith in your main actor on a big show like The Witcher is very good. You know that he's doing a very great job if you can put that much trust into your actor when he tells you, this is what I like, this is what's good, this is what we should put into the show. Concluding his thoughts on Cavill's performance, Jobs ultimately praised that focus that he has, that desire to get it right, is a gift to work with because it elevates everybody to say, good enough isn't good enough. It's got to be fantastic. We all want to work like that. We all don't want to make something that's good. We want to make something incredible. So essentially, when someone is dedicating that much effort into something, it creates an effect on everyone else to say, man, we should work as hard as that, put in as much work as him, and put in as much dedication into this as he is. As noted above, Jobs' brave review of not just Cavill's professionalism, but also his overall character stands in stark contrast to the disingenuous attempt made by a number of unidentified The Witcher production team members to paint the actor's respect for himself and the source material as disrespectful and toxic. Yeah, your disrespect of the lore and the source material is toxic. Nobody cares that you don't want to follow source material. We want to see what is written on paper on the screen. If you cannot follow the lore and the continuity of the lore, then do not make a show called The Witcher. Call it something else. This is the same thing that a lot of people in Hollywood do, where they take things that are popular with a built-in fan base and they think they can change what it is and think people are going to stick around to watch it. And this is why currently your show is indefinitely not filming, because you failed to keep the one dude that was popular, the one dude that would make your show successful, the one guy that wanted to play this role, that embodied this character, and the person that knew about this story. He would rewrite scenes without even alerting the other actors in the scenes until it was time to shoot. He decided that he didn't want any romantic scenes at all. Read one portion of the group's complaint. No kissing, no shirtless scenes, etc. He wanted complete control of the storylines, but really had no idea of the limitations of TV, structure, budget, etc. Showing you just how passionate, just how he wanted to keep the show close to what the source material was. He formed a weird alliance with one writer who was also a gamer who eventually got fired after multiple HR complaints were made. And after that writer left, Henry did anything he could to hold up production and cause problems. Yeah, cause problems as in keep the source material consistent. Keep the show consistent with the source material. That's what they considered as causing problems. They were saying he was hard to work with because he wanted to keep the lore intact. He wanted the show to reflect the lore, and they did not. They wanted to make their own garbage and twist what the lore was and not use the material for the show. And this is why your show essentially flopped, because you kept losing viewers every single season because you put less Geralt and more of Ciri, more of Yennefer. The show is called The Witcher. The show is not called The Ciri or the Yennefer. The show is called The Witcher. So we want to see more Witcher in our Witcher show. So now you have Liam Hemsworth, who's definitely not going to hold a candle to Henry Cavill, who played this role very well. I'd say perfectly, honestly. And this is why your show is not going to continue, most likely. At least in my opinion, it's not going to continue. And now he's over there at Warhammer, at Amazon, as the executive producer on yet another IP that's close and near and dear to his heart, that he is passionate about, and we're all hoping that he's going to make it very good and not make the same mistakes that these people have made. Thank you all for checking out this video. I really do appreciate all the new subscribers, returning subscribers, new viewers, returning viewers. If you do like this video, hit the like button, comment below what you feel about all this. Subscribe for more content. If you want to support the channel, all the links are in the description. You can also hit the join button, become a member for $1 a month, or you can leave a super thanks as well on the video. Hit the bell for notifications, set the bell to all, that way you get notifications anytime I post a new video or live stream, and I will see you all in the next one. Peace.